and welcome. You are watching the main news bulletin from Zeer News 24. Today is Tuesday, August 15th, 2025. I'm Sarah Uthmani, bringing you the top global stories from Zeer News 24. Here are the main headlines tonight. A tragic update from Gaza, where 70 Palestinians have been killed in the latest Israeli attacks as the brutal aid blockade continues. Former Israeli security officials urge Donald Trump to end the war in Gaza. India loses trust in the United States after Trump threatens sanctions over Russian oil. Reports emerge that Israel plans a full-scale invasion of Gaza, aiming to completely occupy the Strip. And in Brazil, former President Jair Bolsonaro has been placed under house arrest by the Supreme Court over coup conspiracy charges. Now, let's get into the details of these stories. In Gaza, the humanitarian catastrophe worsens. Over the past 24 hours, Israeli forces have killed at least 70 Palestinians, with reports indicating that 45 of the victims were trying to access humanitarian aid. Despite the severe famine and starvation gripping Gaza, Israel is only allowing 60 aid trucks into the Strip daily, while officials state that 600 trucks are needed to meet basic human needs. Senior Hamas official Osama Hamdan has accused Israel of deliberately using hunger as a weapon, calling the situation genocide and a crime against humanity. Since the start of Israel's offensive, over 60,000 Palestinians have been killed, with more than 150,000 injured. And hundreds of thousands now face the risk of starvation. In other news, over 600 former Israeli security officials have signed an open letter to Donald Trump, urging him to bring an end to the war in Gaza. They argue that the war's initial goals have been achieved, and the release of hostages can only happen through negotiation. This plea comes amid rising concern over Palestinians dying of hunger and the deteriorating condition of Israeli hostages. Hamas has reiterated that the hostages receive the same food as Gaza's starving population, while aid delivery by the Red Cross is being blocked. Meanwhile, Trump's aggressive foreign policy has caused a rift with India. The Guardian reports that Trump's threat of sanctions over India's purchase of Russian oil has severely damaged trust between New Delhi and Washington. Analysts believe this move has closed doors for further diplomatic engagement. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi is keen to avoid any appearance of weakness, Modi's government has also rejected Trump's recent comments on India-Pakistan relations, calling them an insult. Alarming reports from Al Jazeera suggest that Israel is preparing for a full-scale invasion of the Gaza Strip. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to formally announce the decision soon. Sources indicate that Israel's war cabinet has approved detailed military plans to eliminate Hamas control and bring Gaza under full Israeli occupation. Palestinian officials have condemned this move, warning that it could ignite a wider regional conflict. It remains unclear whether this is a tactical announcement to test international reactions or a firm plan ready for execution. And finally, in Brazil, former President Jair Bolsonaro has been placed under house arrest following a Supreme Court order. He faces charges of conspiring to stage a coup. The arrest, executed by Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes, has highlighted the independence of Brazil's judiciary. Bolsonaro is accused of violating his release conditions by praising interference from U.S. President Donald Trump, a breach considered serious by the courts. Despite U.S. sanctions against Bolsonaro and Moraes, Brazil's legal institutions are asserting their sovereignty with this decisive move. That concludes the International News Roundup from Zeer News 24. For domestic updates and sports stories, follow us on social media. Like, share, and follow Zeer News 24 on Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. Until our next bulletin, may God protect you.